2020 taught us all when a community comes together, almost anything is possible. And while the world wasn't born anew when the calendar flipped in January, there is a fresh sense of hope riding the spring breeze in Michigan. Hello everyone, I'm Neil Rule, and thanks for tuning in for this first look at the season ahead for Detroit City Football Club. Coming up on the show, the 2021 soccer season may be starting later than usual, but the men's and women's teams will be dressed for success, and we'll be unveiling those fresh kits right here. Plus, men's general manager and head coach Trevor James has done nothing but win trophies since he arrived in Detroit. We'll find out why he thinks this year will be LaRouge's best yet. And the DCFC women's team made a stirring but shortened debut in 2020. We'll meet some of the players and staff ready to take on their first full season in Rouge and Gold.
1, 2, 3, City!
But first, since its grassroots kickoff in 2012, Detroit City FC has grown to become one of the most compelling success stories in American sports. To make it in a seemingly saturated sports landscape, this soccer startup tapped the same recipe as any other upstart small business striving to survive. Be different. Be authentic. Win people over with big ambitions and bigger ideas. And one of those big ideas? It's all in a name. There's a world of difference between a soccer team and a football club.
Soccer team, I think, is just individual. I think it's just that team.
Like, I've played loads of soccer teams growing up in Ireland. It's just your own team. Like, it's you don't care about anyone else except for your 12, 15 players, guys.
It's basically just a group of people that are getting together to play the game, for the love of the sport, which is great. But when you're talking about a football club, you're talking about a culture. You're talking about trying to build something.
The youth teams, women teams, getting many people on board with ownership and just everything overall growing.
You have to represent a lot more when you put on the kit than if you're just putting on a kit for 22 guys versus what do we have, 8,000 in the stadium. You represent a lot more and you have a lot more responsibility.
Support, family, responsibility. In 2020, it was never more apparent that the Detroit City Football Club community transcends a single men's or women's soccer team. The COVID pandemic affected the whole world. Families lost loved ones, and businesses faced their toughest times in decades. Detroit City FC was no exception.
Yeah, there were sleepless nights, and you could say, we probably got down to like the last payroll, maybe a couple of times. We've always had a sense that we'd find a way.
In an effort to raise vital capital, team ownership decided to offer up 10% of the club to public investment. While it was a desperate move, it was also a rare opportunity for die-hard believers in community-based soccer to upgrade their passion to co-ownership status.
Even in these difficult times, that the fans are going to still come out and support, it just shows what this club is all about.
Sports do a lot more than people think. And I think as soon as they had the opportunity to try to save their club, you really saw the true fans come out and try to save this club because it means so much to everybody.
In the time crisis that we all are right now, that's something that they want to still invest in and work towards and help build, and it says a ton about the community again.
In the end, almost 3,000 individual investors from almost 20 countries became DCFC co-owners. They ranged in age from 18 to 80, and the average investment was less than $400. But maybe the most impressive number of all was 5. That's how many days it took for DCFC to raise their target of just over $1 million, solidifying the foundation of the club in the shakiest of times.
Able to actually get back to kicking a ball in 2020 and win a couple more trophies for the trophy case.
2021 will see watch parties and gatherings return to the Detroit City Clubhouse, which itself looks down upon the return of youth and adult sports leagues playing on the 2 indoor pitches at the Fieldhouse. The entire building is another reminder that there is more to a football club than 90 minutes on match days. It's the headquarters for the men's and women's sides, as well as a new addition, the DCFC Youth Academy.
As a Detroit kid, you don't really see soccer. It's not something that you think about right away when you're thinking Detroit. You're thinking football, basketball. So just the fact that there is a city team, Detroit City FC, Now the little kids out there are going to be looking at that. They're going to say, oh, what is this about? Oh, is this something that I can do when I get older? Even having that small opportunity is something that will change a kid's life.
That word culture is something I've used since day one, since I got the job, is I want to create a culture on the women's side that people want to be a part of, people want to celebrate, people want to support.
Football is a big deal in this house. So when Maurice was injured, we immediately thought the worst. To see my baby lose his joy hurt.
The DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, is here to help athletes get back in the game.
They're like family. It was a long road, but we made it back.
DMC, Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan, a community built on care.
Chevy is America's fastest growing full-line brand. That's why people are taking it everywhere. Taking SUVs like Trailblazer outdoors, confidently taking on new places with Equinox, and taking on more with the most capable Silverado ever. No matter what you do, there's a Chevy that's perfect to take you anywhere. Find your perfect Chevy. GM employees with a current eligible GM lease can get this Equinox for $189 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
The highways and the thruways try to map you, baby. I got your back.
To the rest of the world, Detroit is where they build cars. But to your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers and everyone who proudly call themselves Detroiters, it goes way beyond that.
I got your back.
Detroit may be known for building cars, but together, we all built Detroit.
We are one when we get going.
Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Lucas gives it a go! An absolute rocket! Lillian Lucas.
For the players and staff of the first ever Detroit City FC women's team, 2020 was a much shorter season than expected. But in the end, while history was left to be made over a single weekend tournament at Keyworth Stadium, the result was still an inaugural run to remember.
Tonight, history will be made here at Keyworth. We get our first look at Detroit City FC's women's side. How about this? No fans in the stands here at Keyworth.
Still have a smoke delay.
Still have a smoke delay.
You know what, partner? This is the moment sports feels like it's really bad.
It really does.
Right here.
Lucas gives it a go! An absolute rocket! Lillian Lucas scores the goal, and Detroit City FC women's side takes a 1-0 lead. Part of your Watch City stream brought to you by Stroh's.
Giveaway.
Kenna White with the ball, finds the back of the net. Kenna White puts City up 2-1 in the 83rd minute.
My partner goes prophetic. He said Kenna White would play a role, and she made you look good, Pods.
Muggy night here at historic Keyworth Stadium, and it's fitting to get a whole lot hotter for the championship match of the Keyworth Showcase. Hugie with the shot. It's loose right on the doorstep and put in the back of the net. And we are level at 1. Detroit City bounces back. Caroline Fleming does the job.
The DCFC women return to the pitch in 2021, and this time they're bringing reinforcements in the form of a reserve team. Sam Pirani returns as the head coach of the first team, which will compete in the Midwest Conference of the UWS, a national pro-am league with teams across the U.S. and Canada. Sarah Hugie will once again don the captain's band and will be joined this season by Megan Miles, both standouts as players and leaders, considering they also coach for DCFC youth affiliate teams.
I think it's captain's always a person that's kind of that segue between coach and player, and obviously having been a player all my life and then coaching more recently, all of that kind of helps me in navigating both pools and then helping to connect those pieces, because some coaches are completely approachable, but sometimes it's still intimidating to go right up to that or just have that conversation, and I can kind of be that balance in between.
Joining the fun will be a women's reserve team set to kick off in the Great Lakes Conference of UWS 2. League 2 exists to provide a new pathway for players in the U20 to U23 age group. George Easter will helm the squad and will work closely with the first team staff to develop players and expand the opportunities for the LaRouge women.
We're going to train together. We're going to make sure that they're competing. And again, it's an open roster where if they're able and committed to what we're doing, then opportunity will present itself for either side.
Don't force, no, don't force. Take away your space, good.
Yeah, I mean, it's come a long way. It's 2 seasons really, and with the fan base we have, they see the club and then they feel the club as their own, and they want the men's team and they want the women's players and they want young players to have an opportunity.
In the midst of rapid growth, details can be missed, but head coach Pirani is intent on making sure the first few steps the DCFC women take are with a purpose.
That word culture is something I've used since day one, since I got the job. Is I want to create a culture on the women's side that people want to be a part of, people want to celebrate, people want to support.
Oh, he's an advocate, like, for everyone. He's going to be big, rooting you on the whole time. He also likes to talk strategy, and he's a community member. Like, he wants input, and he'll take feedback. It's all positive in that sense.
So the biggest thing about building our roster was when we were able to have some high school kids coming in, a core of college kids that will be coming in, in the beginning of the season in top shape because of their spring, and some post-college players that are either former pros, aspiring to be pros, or just still have that ability to play at a high level after college. When bringing in the second team was about the player pool, being able to compete for the first team opportunities.
We're looking to create an environment that's very high level, that's very quality. It's going to be basically kind of the best you can get in the area.
We're going to be an attractive brand of soccer. We're going to try to keep possession of the ball, but at the same time be very dominant going forward.
The professional atmosphere DCFC can offer will help the women's team build a winning culture. But the fact is, when it comes to recruiting, it doesn't hurt to have the best soccer fans in the country as a selling point.
Then selling Detroit City, selling the Northern Guard has just been easy, right? Sharing clips with them. It's still going to be something different and special for them on that first day. And we're excited to see that, but I think it's just going to go a long way and help us, get over that hump if it's tied near the end, right? That I don't know if they're ready for it, but when it happens, they're going to be extremely fired up about it.
Let's take a look at how the schedule is shaping up for the 2021 Detroit City FC women. Le Rouge will be taking the airwaves often this summer, so check your local listings and DebtCityFC.com for match and broadcast information.
Obviously, winning is a great habit to have. It's tough because you keep asking players for a little bit more, and and as you see in the last 2 years, they keep giving.
Soccer. Watch it at Detroit's premier soccer bar, the Detroit City Clubhouse. We have domestic and international. Soccer. Enjoy cold beer. Don't forget to pies. The Detroit City Clubhouse. Perfect for birthday parties and corporate events. Detroit City Clubhouse. Detroit's home for soccer.
Natural gas is a lot more than just an energy source. It perks up your mornings and eases you into relaxed evenings. It works both hard and smart. It can help heal the body and transport the mind. And at the end of the day, cleaner, safe, affordable natural gas is there to do more than just dry your clothes. It's a warm hug waiting to happen. DTE.
It down. Mundy with the right foot. It's in the back of the net. Yes!
Since its founding, Detroit City FC's men's team has been defined by its challenges as much as its accomplishments. Oftentimes, being counted out makes the victory that much sweeter. The 2020 season was no different, yet despite some early setbacks, Le Rouge once again rose to the occasion and, of course, brought home the hardware.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back inside historic Keyworth Stadium.
It's a great way to defend an attacker of his talent.
Ronnie Green with the cross. What a finish on the other end by Ryan Peterson. But instead, striking with the right foot, and sending it in the left side of the net. The only thing standing in the way of a NISA Independent Cup victory is an old Rust Belt rival.
That the PK was telegraphed a little bit.
And that ball is put in by Sean Lawson, the all-time leader.
It's been the target from the day we started back, or the day the schedule was announced.
Rebound shot redirected in, expertly so. Jadita coming down the left-hand side. Detroit going to try to get some bodies in the box. Jarira puts it in, and it's redirected home. And Detroit City have come from behind to take a 2-1 lead. Let's have it right on the 18, left-footed shot. It's redirected home.
They grinded out a result, we grinded out a result against them, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. No one has excuses, just whoever wants it more is going to win it.
Here's a turnover, and Lawson has buried it. Bring that man off the bench.
Kendo, Nate, Carroll, track to McInerney.
Uh-oh, here's a volley attempted. It's in. What a finish. Here's a lob in, and it's headed off the line. And there is the final whistle. Detroit City is Championship City.
In the wake of another successful season, the DCFC Pro side has doubled down for their return in 2021. The first team continues on in the Professional National Independent Soccer Association. And making history this spring will be the new men's reserve team, the U23s, who will be led by former La Rouge player and first-team assistant coach Javi Bautista, and will join the Midwest Premier League.
Now it means that we can include within our squad, and training squad, younger players, who will be training and obviously looking to get playing time with the first team, but also it does give us the opportunity to develop younger players because we have another team that they can play on.
It'll definitely be a reflection of the professional side. I think that's one of the most important parts. If it is a development side for the pro team, I think it has to mirror that.
As the shelves of the fieldhouse strain under the weight of the hardware already accumulated by DCFC, there is one man who won't be satisfied until those shelves are in splinters.
Obviously, winning is a great habit. It's a great habit to have. There is a little bit of pressure that our players will always play under, but they seem to enjoy that. So it's just challenging them, each day to, can we do a little bit better? Can we repeat what we do? This sort of thing. So, and at this point, they've, what can I say? They've done marvelous. I mean, you couldn't ask for more in the 2 seasons, So it's fantastic.
Yeah, really excited. Yeah, I think everyone's just buzzing in the locker room, and I think it's just nice to get back and knock the ball around and see the guys.
We have a title to defend, so obviously if the team want to win as much as possible, win the national final, if you want to call it, in July. But there's a couple of trophies to be won in between. So we set a standard. We won last year, so we gotta win again.
The recipe for winning again is a mix of old and new. One of the veterans leading the way is captain and 2020 tournament MVP Stephen Carroll. The captain played through a knee injury well enough to lead his team to a championship in the fall of 2020 and an automatic berth in the final to be held this July in Hamtramck.
Well, as a player, Stephen is consistent. He does the same thing every day. He trains the same every day. He plays the games at a high standard every game. When he says something, I notice that players right from the off would tend to listen. So that's a big part of being a captain, who's been an assistant to the coach on the field, basically. So I think he fits the bill both on and off the field.
I mean, first of all, Steve is an amazing captain. I think they make up our DNA and make up who we are as a club, and just him leading, the voice in the back, center back position, just talking to everyone during games, communication non-stop every single time.
Steve doesn't care if there's an armband, if he's wearing one or not. I think for him it's more of realizing that the team comes before himself.
Pretty much the quarterback. He's telling everyone where to go. I feel like he has a controller, PlayStation, or Xbox, and he's kind of moving everybody around, telling us where to go, and that's what you need. That's really what you need back there.
Even with Captain Carroll locking down the back line, the overall example is set by the man supporters affectionately call the gaffer. In fact, when players talk about Trevor James, there's one word you won't have to wait long to hear.
I think this word gets associated a lot with Trevor, but it's the professionalism side. Obviously, the decades of experience that he's had in the MLS and other places.
You just have to trust his opinion in a lot of situations, and he helps us a lot, stay on top of our mentality, the way we carry ourselves. And as much as he talks about tactics and the soccer aspect, he talks a lot about professionalism almost just as much.
It's not just the X's and O's and the tactics, but it's also the managing of the players, managing of the personalities, dealing with tough situations on the road, and just overall putting a team together from all different perspectives, all different angles. And
he just has something about him that players want to play for him.
Let's take a look at how the schedule is shaping up for the 2021 Detroit City FC men. Le Rouge will open up on May Day against the Maryland Bobcats before taking a 4-game gauntlet of away fixtures. Then it's back home to Keyworth Stadium for an unforgettable stretch of matches culminating in the NISA final on July 3rd. Check local listings and deadcityfc.com for match and broadcast information.
Hi DCFC fans, I am super excited to be here with you today. And as a lifelong Detroiter and a lifelong soccer player, I could not be more passionate about the partnership that we've got together. Ally's been a part of Detroit for over 100 years, and we have a deep commitment to the communities in which we work and live and play. So supporting DCFC was an easy decision for us. We can't wait to get to work and show you all the great things that we're going to do to be an ally to the fans, like supporting events such as the Pride Raiser, which is personally a big passion point for me. So really excited to meet all of you guys out on the pitch and looking forward to the great things that we're going to do together.
Tonight, history will be made here at Keyworth. Monday with the right foot, it's in the back of the net. Comes free, Ozzie Matthews! 2-1 City! And White with the ball, finds the back of the net. It's put home, it's a goal for Detroit City.
Chevy is America's fastest growing full-line brand. That's why people are taking it everywhere. Taking SUVs like Trailblazer outdoors, confidently taking on new places with Equinox, and taking on more with the most capable Silverado ever. No matter what you do, there's a Chevy that's perfect to take you anywhere. Find your perfect Chevy. GM employees with a current eligible GM lease can get this Blazer for $219 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
The highways and the thruways try to map you, baby. I got your back.
To the rest of the world, Detroit is where they build cars. But to your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers and everyone who proudly call themselves Detroiters, it goes way beyond that.
I got your back.
Detroit may be known for building cars, but together, we all built Detroit.
We are one when we get going.
Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Over the past decade, Detroit City FC's growth has been exponential, and looking ahead, the sky's the limit. From men to women to youth. DCFC is fearless in its growth, and there's good reason for that. The club and the fans support and inspire each other, be it on the pitch or off it.
I think we get an advantage because the way the club is built with the owners and with the supporters, it's a big part of giving back to Detroit. Without the supporters, Detroit City FC is not a club. So it is massive that they support the club.
I know you guys think it's tough to go out and run for 90 minutes, but go try and chant and jump up and down for 90 minutes. That's almost as difficult, if not more difficult, than actually playing.
With our supporters, they care. They want to be in it. They want to know everything. They want to know how they can help. If anybody needs anything, they're always there to help. It's more of a family. It feels like a family, and you can always reach out to them. They can always reach out to us, and it's the mutual respect that we have between each other.
And I think with what we're trying to do here with the youth and with our outreach, trying to get players and the club out in the community and out, supporting different programs, it does link up well the fact that we can actually do things for the community, which only makes the club stronger.
Keyworth Stadium. Giving back is part of the Le Rouge DNA. From its first year, Detroit City FC has auctioned off a set of game-worn jerseys to raise funds and awareness of organizations working hard to make Southeast Michigan a safer and more inclusive place to live and work. Over the years, that has meant standing up for issues like water security, foreclosure assistance, and refugee aid, protecting homeless LGBTQ youth, supporting wounded veterans, and ending police violence. None of which would have been possible without the bonds forged inside Keyworth Stadium during one of the most electrifying sporting events in the country, a connection which inspires players to leave it all on the pitch.
But at Keyworth, you can't get tired. Like, you're not allowed. Because if you get tired, like, there's 8,000 people on top of you. I think playing in front of a crowd like that makes you just work a lot harder and thrive a lot more, and it's just a completely different feeling.
Knowing that all of them are watching me and expecting me to do what I'm supposed to do makes me feel, they hold me accountable, like, I know I have to run 50, 60, 70 yard sprint right now, but I have to do it.
Expecting results and almost always getting them. Over the years, DCFC has been dominant at home, and they look good doing it. This season is no different. Let's take a look at the 2021 DCFC kits.
To play with that crest on your chest is something special, and it's something that they can never take for granted.
You have to represent a lot more when you put on the kit than if you're just putting on a kit for 22 guys versus 8,000 in the stadium.
We are a family, we're a football club.
The community is such a big piece of this.
I know that there's so many clubs all over the world, but Detroit City just touches a lot different.
And it's all the way through, and it's in the back of the net. A goal for Ronnie Green.
Sarah Hugie, she created, and Fleming was able to get the tap in.
Steinwasser closes the door.
There had to be all-world to make the save, and all-world he was.
As far as development, it's essential that we have a youth program.
You're talking about a culture. You're talking about trying to build something that is everlasting.
Detroit City is championship city. Come on. You got 3, 1, 2, 3.
And there you have it. Everything you need to know to be ready for the 2021 Detroit City FC season. After a long, cold winter, it's the perfect time to kick off some smoking hot soccer. So, from the whole Le Rouge family, we'll see you down at Keyworth. Well, see you later.